your comfort zone is your prison.
Period.
If you can't get out of that comfort, if you can't learn to be uncomfortable, how are you going to grow? Exactly. How are you going to change? How are you going to be able to evolve? What's up, guys? Welcome to You, Me, and a Cup of Tea, your favorite talk show for all conversations, relatable, inspiring, and motivating. I'm your host, Sydnee, and we have a great guest with me today. She is an artist, a creative, an entrepreneur, the goddess of R&B. It's Phoenix Sohl.
What's going on?
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, this is so exciting. We always have great energy exchange, great conversations. So I'm excited to get into it today.
Likewise.
Yeah. So I know that your journey has been very unique thus far. You had entrepreneurship on your life very young. Mm-hmm. So how do you feel like that was for you being a young entrepreneur?
You know, like we talked about before, on my mother's side, my grandmother was one of 7. And everyone there was an entrepreneur, except for one uncle who was in the military. And on my father's side, my father's dad was an entrepreneur. So I come from a lineage of, use your creativity, use what you have, and get out here and make it happen.
That's powerful. Not everybody comes from that. A lot of people don't come from that. It's a 9 to 5, go to college. You have to go get a job, and your family has inspired you to be more, to lean into what you are. For sure. Yeah. For sure. So when you were younger, how did you find yourself, or did you find it hard to find yourself, being so young in those spaces?
I've always been who I am.
Yeah.
As far as children are concerned, you have Isaiah, like, he is who he is, right? Yeah. Like, we come out with a personality. And so I feel that I've always been this person. Life happens. And I think that's where the crust comes in and we start to have a shell. But who we are is just intrinsic. Yeah. So, my thing is more unlearning than learning. You know what I mean? Like, how can I unlearn and be more authentic, and show up as myself, because I am who I am. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. So what do you feel like you had to unlearn? Was it unlearning being inauthentic in certain spaces, or?
For sure. Yeah. The unlearning is like belief systems, right? One of them that's huge is perfection. Like my mother is incredible. She always has all the I's dotted, the T's crossed. My dad is a military man. So there was like this ideal of perfection, right? But that doesn't exist. Yeah. So I have these two aspects of myself. I'm a Libra. So on one end, I'm super creative, but then on the other end, I'm an editor. I have this mind of like, okay, how are we going to perfectly present it? Right. Yeah. And so I feel like my journey has been being more creative and putting that side of me out, because it's authentic, it's present, like it's me, it's joyful, and then letting the editor do what it needs to do at the time that it needs to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So just unlearning those beliefs that you have to be perfect.
It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be authentic. Yes. People, we think that, especially in entertainment, like, I do believe that the industry has shifted tremendously. But, think about like the Michael Jacksons. You weren't following him on social media. Yeah. He was perfectly packaged, presented, and then put forward. We had no idea what was going on in anybody's life at one period of time. But now we live in this society where it's know, like, and trust. We gravitate towards who we know, like, and trust. Yeah. And so it's like there's an unlearning that had to happen there, because in entertainment, you play a part. And so, like, where do you draw the line of like, this is a part that I'm playing and this is who I am? And I think that that's very much so a struggle for a lot of creatives. Yes.
Do you think that you're still working on that yourself, or have you mastered being able to draw that line? This is me, to my core. Is that something you're still struggling with?
I don't think so. Braxton has helped me a lot with this. Yeah. And I believe in showing up fully as who I am.
Yeah.
And if I show up fully as who I am, I don't have to decide if I'm gonna
you don't have to switch roles, right?
For what?
Yeah.
So I think that that's the most important thing at this point for all of us. Like, I think that we used to live in a time, especially as, people of color, where assimilation had to happen. And to be in certain environments, you had to act a certain way or speak a certain way. And I think that shifted where we can be more of ourselves. So that's my thing. Like, how can I authentically tell my story?
Yeah.
How can I be more myself and make you comfortable in being who you are?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Let that radiate off and teach people, and to show people that it's okay to be who you are.
Absolutely.
That's really what you've been putting out into the universe, is what you've been showing people, that it is okay to be you.
Yeah.
And I love that. What do you do to nurture that in that authentic self? What do you do to, build it and grow it and to nurture who you're becoming and who you are?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think that writing is so paramount because you can step away, but then also like dive into what you've written. You can almost like separate yourself in a sense. And so writing has been extremely helpful for me in getting clear on who I am, right? And how I'm showing up.
Yeah.
And so I use it as a tool to like more deeply see myself and more deeply tap into myself and get clear on like what it is I'm thinking, what I'm believing, what I'm saying. Writing is it's my first language. I've always said that. Like I'm an incredible writer. And so as a result, I've become a great speaker and it's translated into my song and my voice, but it all comes from just writing it down.
Yeah, let's talk about your voice, your music. Where did this, obviously was inside of you, but where did this come from? Where was the need to use your voice to, inspire the world, to share that with the world? Where did that come from?
It's all I've ever done.
Yeah.
Like, it's all I've ever done. Like, from my memories at like 3 years old, that's the first memory, I can remember. And all I've ever done was sing. And so if I'm not singing, I'm not myself. If I'm not, all I've ever done is speak. We're talking about kids in school and conduct. I was so happy to get to high school, so I didn't get conduct grades because my conduct was horrible. Like, I got straight A's, but I was always talking.
Talk. Yeah, absolutely.
So again, going back to like who we've always been, I've always been that person, and when I'm in spaces where I'm not talking, or in spaces where I'm not singing, or in spaces where I'm not writing or dancing or like being like my intrinsic self, I know something's off.
Yeah.
Because I'm not showing up as myself.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can feel that in your music. Like, you can really feel your passion. You can feel your authenticity coming out in your music. What do you have coming up that you're going to be sharing with the world that you're excited for?
I'm really excited about this next record. It's not my next single, but it'll be the single after that, and it's called Love Lost. And it is very relatable because my stories come from my life.
Yeah.
And I've just been in a season where I've had relationships and had friendships, and they've ended because, I'm evolving, and we're all evolving, right?
Right.
And so I have the same birthday as Eminem. And
really,
I love that because that gives me so much room, right? Like, I can express myself. I can like take it there. And I don't think that I've definitely have it. Like, I haven't done that in music in a very long time. So it's a completely different persona, personality, wave, but it's fire.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
I'm so excited about it.
I know it's gonna be. I know it's gonna be. Dive into, you said, your relationships evolving. Dive into one of the hardest moments that you've had thus far, that you've come in contact with, either a friendship or relationship, in this space of evolving.
Ooh, that's deep. So I have this beautiful, beautiful person, right? Yeah. Like a sister, and we had multiple business endeavors, and you know, all kind of things going on. And I got a letter in the mail. And the letter spoke on, you know, where she was, how she was feeling, what she felt had transpired, you know, and it was very different from, you know, where I was. Yeah. And my thing is, I realized what was important to me in this communication. It is, you know, the picking up that phone call and being like, hey, this is what's going on. This is what's on my mind. And then we can address it and like talk through it. And so, you know, that was hard because we didn't speak after that. Yeah. But we had things we had to iron out. And so it was, you know, very much so like you have to find closure within yourself. Yeah. And you have to, you know, have these conversations within yourself. But in addition, though, I will say this, like, I'm spiritual, you know, and so I would have conversations with her like in the ether. You know what I'm saying? To like just clear the air, like, and like there's no love lost. Like I truly feel that now, you know, relationships don't have to end in conflict. They don't have to, even if, you know, there's a parting of ways, like it doesn't have to be nasty. It can just be a realization that, you know, we're here. This is where we are. We experienced what we experienced. We got what we needed to get. And now it's time to move to the next chapter. Yeah, absolutely. You know, so it's extremely paramount. Definitely transformed, changed me. You know, love her dearly. Always want the very best for everything, you know, in her world. And the same for me.
Sometimes your paths just don't cross with people after you reach a certain point in the road. Does that make sense?
Oh, for certain.
They diverge, you know, and they diverge. And you said too, closure. I feel like sometimes you just don't get certain closure. Like sometimes things just don't close with that person physically, right? But you have to find it in yourself, like you said, and be okay with that truth. Absolutely. You know, and don't let that bitterness hold you back from the next opportunity, the next relationship, the next person, because we'll do that.
Oh, most definitely.
You know what I'm saying? We'll have things that we didn't find closure on, and we let it ruin everything that comes after that.
Can't. Yeah. Yeah, we can't hold on to pain.
Yeah.
You know, just release and let go and trust the process and trust God and just keep it moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You say trust God. I want to talk about your spirituality and God. How do you feel like, you know, because some people will say certain spiritual people, God and spirituality do not, you know, verge together, you know, as far as if you look to crystals, if you look to, you know what I'm saying, certain things like that, they'll think that those are witchcraft and you can't be with God. So how is your relationship with God on your spiritual journey? Because I feel like you do it all. You use every tool that the universe has given you to reach your higher self, to reach the point that you want to be at. So what does that relationship look like for you?
You said something. You said tool.
Yeah.
I believe that, you know, this whole world, like God has given us tools to use to have deeper understanding of ourselves or to ground ourselves. But those things aren't God. You know, so we use the tools. We don't let the tools use us.
Yes. Yeah, I'm the same. Like, you know, when people, you know, you wear crystals or that's witchcraft, you know, whatever people say. Right. It's a tool. Just like you open up your Bible and look for the word.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's just an exchange of energy when you're working with crystals. Yeah. And so it's good to hear that you can do both.
For sure.
And you find a relationship with both. Right. And it can be simultaneous. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think there's infinite paths to God. Yeah. You know, and I think that the more that we all open ourselves up to, like, you may have a way and you share that with me. And if I remain open, then I can hear what you're saying. Take a little nugget of it. It may be for me. It may not be for me. But I can take a nugget and I can put it into what I've got going on. And that can blast my whole world open. So, like, we have to stay open-minded and not so, that's wrong. Like, who's to say?
Who's to say?
Right.
That's right. I agree. I am so with you on that. I think that closed-minded people will never see what, like large-minded people see. You know what I'm saying? What they can experience, what they are willing to experience. Yes. That's really what it is. It's the willingness.
You said it.
Let me sip my tea.
Sip your tea. I'm gonna sip my tea on that too. But I do want to speak to like the power of opening the mind, right? Like, I think that we create barriers.
Yeah.
We close off and we create limitation to keep us safe. But like the very thing that keeps you safe will end up being a prison. So like we live in a world where we have to open our minds.
Yeah.
Like there's so much changing. We got AI. We got so many new things that are coming in. You can't remain the same individual and win at anything.
True. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. I love that you said that though. What a perspective it is that you said that basically your comfort zone is your prison. Period. If you can't get out of that comfort, if you can't learn to be uncomfortable, how are you going to grow? Exactly. How are you going to change? How are you going to be able to evolve?
Right. Stretching hurts.
Yeah, like it does.
It hurts so good, right? Like you get down, you stretch. It hurts. There's growing pains physically. But at the end of the day, like it's going to be the pain of moving forward or the pain of regret. Yeah. And which one are we willing to tap into? I don't want to regret anything.
Right. Yeah. I'd rather know that I tried and failed than not try at all.
We're going to fail every day. Yeah. I think we have to stop being afraid of failure. And then like, what is failure? You're not failing if you're putting your energy out there. If you're stepping forward, you're going to learn something. Yeah. And when Isaiah was learning to walk, he's walking now, right? Like he fell, but he got back up. Yes. And so we have to stop getting locked into the fear of, it's got to be, no, just do it. Yeah. You're going to get better. You're going to get stronger. Just keep doing it.
Just keep doing it. Yeah. What keeps you going?
What keeps me going? The vision. Oh. The vision. Yeah. The vision will haunt you if you don't live it, if you don't create it. And so that goes back.
Come back tapping on your door. Right. Where you at?
You can't escape the vision. Yeah. Absolutely. And I think some people, will die with that vision inside. But just the fact that God gave you that means that you have everything that you need to create and everything that you need to expand. Do you believe in yourself? Do you believe in your capabilities? Yes. Do you believe that God is going to put you in every room, position, person, with everything that you need?
No matter how long it takes.
Yeah. And okay, we were talking about that last night, right?
We did talk about that last night. Let's go. You know what? Because we were going to pick up that conversation. Right. Go ahead.
I'm learning, about time. Like people will tell you that know me. I have no concept of time. I really don't. Like I don't resonate with it. It really doesn't exist for me because everything is right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm enlightened.
Yeah, everything is right now. And so like I think that we are very mind identified society, that we separate from feelings. We've been taught to fear feelings, but the feelings are what get you there. The feelings are the becoming. When you can feel yourself as that person, you are that person. Yeah. So there's no time. So it's just like, this is what I'm coming into like awareness of within myself, right? Because, I talk to Braxton a lot and he talks to me about like being in the moment. Like entertainment in our world is so future based that all I'm thinking about is this is what this is right now. And I'm looking at analytics and then I'm thinking about what needs to be right there. But all we have is right now. And if I feel the feeling of who I'm becoming, there's nothing that separates me from being that person. Yeah. So
you are that person.
Right. Yeah. So in that sense, I'm experimenting with collapsing time.
Yeah. You've been talking to me about quantum leaping.
Quantum. Yeah. I've been studying it. It's a scientific fact. That it's just feeling in action. So if I feel myself as that person, I'm going to act as that person. And then the results of what that person is wanting and doing is going to demonstrate itself.
It's going to come to you.
Period.
But is it mostly just a large expansion of manifestation? Because instead of speaking who you want to become, you're feeling the person you're becoming. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So aren't they kind of intertwined?
They're the same.
Yeah.
It's the same. Like, I think that's the part of manifestation that we haven't been taught. Like, it's about, oh, think it, see it. Okay, cool, yeah.
But you should feel it. Yeah.
Think it, see it, feel it. Think about, I love science. So I've been like I study science, right?
I can see it lights up on your face.
I love it. Yeah. Because it makes sense, you know? But like, think about like when we were in school, you know, you saw in science class, you saw like the dust floating in the air. And then the next thing you know, it's like a ball. And the next thing you know, like it turns into a desk. Right? Like, you know, but that's okay. If everything is spiritual, we live in a spiritual world. You think a thought, you have a vision, right? You're going to begin putting the blueprint together. When you start, you know, think about this show. When you're putting the show together, you were, you know, idealizing it. And then you started looking up studios and doing all these things. You put your emotion and your energy into it. And that's when you get excited. And then that's when the physical aspect comes. The physical is always a final manifestation of like the spiritual that exists, the mental that I'm thinking, the emotions I'm putting in. And now we're here.
I love that.
Yeah.
And look at where you're at now.
Period.
Oh my God. I love that. I love that. I love that. Like, you are really doing your thing. You are so talented. Like, lyrically, listening to your voice is like angelic, really like a goddess, right? Like, I love that you coin yourself as the goddess of R&B because it really is just listening to you, like, gives me chills. Like, it's just so beautiful. I love your voice and everything that you share with your music. It's intentional.
Thank you.
It's purposeful. What would you say to any artist right now that is coming up in their journey, looking to evolve? What is the advice that you would give them on their journey of evolution and entrepreneurship?
Yeah. Dang, that's loaded, Sid. That's loaded. What would I say? Tell your story. Don't tell anyone else's. And don't tell what you think people want to hear. I wrote a song prior to Elevating. Was it prior? No, it was after. It was after Elevating. And it's a great song. But when I go back and listen to it, it doesn't have the same, like, feeling you spoke of. Like, it doesn't have that same connecting point. It sounds really good. But, like, your soul doesn't connect to it because it's just the mask. So, you know, we got the cars and the bags and all of these things. Is that true to your life? And if it's not true to your life, and if it's not true to your soul, you need to be telling a different story. Yeah. Because the music that people hear that is connected to your life, they gonna hear that in their soul. Yeah. You can't get past it. Yeah. So you can write a hit record and it be so void of emotion. It's so void of feeling. And I have, you know, records that I listen to and I'm like, wow, like I almost need to recut that.
I was so surface level with this.
If you don't go deep, it don't go deep. Yeah. You know, like as deep as the roots of the tree are, is as high as it grows. And we forget that. We think we're going to just go up. You know, you can't go up without getting down. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. But I love that you've sat back and really just like weeded out what has been authentic for you and what hasn't. And I can't wait for the world to hear this next record. Yeah. I can't wait for the world to just be on Phoenix Sohl. Just everyone in this world just touched by you. Period. And they will be.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you so much for coming to sit with me. Yes. I enjoyed this so much. Like, you have no idea. Like, this whole conversation, just everything that you're doing is beautiful. And you are going so many places. Next time we see each other, honey, we're going to be on TV. Exactly. You're going to be on big stages doing amazing things. I can't wait to
I receive it. I appreciate you.
Please let everyone know where they can follow you and subscribe to your channel.
Absolutely. Follow me on Instagram, all the platforms at I am Phoenix Sohl. And you can find all of my music at Phoenix Sohl, and that's SOHL.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much. I enjoyed. Cheers.
Likewise. Cheers, cheers.